Bound by Suggestion, a Jeff Resnick mystery. Written by L. Bartlett. Narrated by Stephen Barnett. Chapter 1. You're not the first psychic to come through Paula's apartment, Mr. Resnick. Hands on hips, Dr. Krista Marsh stood before me. Her heels gave her an inch or more on me. Blonde and lithe, and clad in a turquoise dress with jet beads resting on her ample breasts, she was the best-looking thing in that lower-middle-class apartment. I don't use that term. Con artists, liars, and frauds take advantage of people with problems. I'm just someone who sometimes knows more than I'm comfortable knowing. Truth was, I hadn't wanted to be there at all, giving my impressions on the fate of 4-year-old Eric Devlin. He'd gone missing on an early autumn evening some 8 months before. One minute he'd been there, riding his blue and red trike in front of the apartment building. The next he was gone. Like every other good citizen, I'd read all the stories in the newspapers and seen the kid's picture on posters and on TV. The only place I hadn't seen it was on the back of a milk carton. I was there as a favor to my brother. Actually, my older half-brother, Dr. Richard Alpert, who joined me on that cold gray evening in early May. Richard was Paula Devlin's internist at the university's low-income clinic. He liked Paula and hated how not knowing her son's fate was tearing her apart. He hoped I could shed some light on the kid's disappearance. I'm not sure why Dr. Marsh was there. Maybe as Paula's therapist, she thought she could protect her patient from someone like me. So there I stood in the middle of Paula's modestly furnished living room, trying to soak up vibes that might tell me the little boy's fate. Paula waited in the doorway, looking fearful as I examined the heart of her home, which she'd transformed into a cottage industry distributing posters, pins, and flyers in the search for the boy. All to no avail. Vacuum cleaner tracks on the carpet showed her hasty cleanup prior to our arrival. Too thin and looking older than her 32 years, Paula's spirit and her determination to find her missing son had sustained her over the long months she'd been alone. The paper had never mentioned a Mr. Devlin. I don't know if I can help you, I told Paula. She flashed an anxious look at Richard, then back to me. Where would you like to start, Mr. Resnick? Call me Jeff. How about Eric's room? A 60-watt bulb illuminated the gloom as the four of us trudged down a narrow hallway. Paula opened the door to a small bedroom, flipped a light switch, and ushered us in. It's just the way he left it. I doubted that, since the bed was made and all the toys and games were neatly stacked on shelves under the room's only window. Not a speck of dust marred any surface. A race car bedspread and matching drapes gave a clue to the boy's chief interest. So did the scores of dented, paint-scraped cars and trucks. I picked up a purple and black dune buggy, sensing a trace of the boy's aura. He'd been a rambunctious kid, with the beginnings of a smart mouth. He was a very lively child. He's all boy, that's for sure, his mother said proudly. She hadn't noticed I'd used the past tense. Either that, or she was in deep denial. I'd known little Eric was dead the moment I entered the apartment. I gave her a half-hearted smile and replaced the toy on the shelf. There wasn't much else to see. I shouldered my way past the others and wandered back to the living room. They tried not to bump into each other as they followed. A 4-foot poster of Eric's smiling face dominated the west wall. He'd been small for his age, cute, with sandy hair and a sprinkle of freckles across the bridge of his nose. An image flashed through my mind, a child's hand reaching for a glass. I hitched in a breath, grateful my back was to Dr. Marsh. A mix of powerful emotions erupted, as though my presence had ignited an emotional powder keg. Like repelling magnets, guilt and relief raged a war, practically raining from the walls and ceiling. Composing myself, I turned, a disquieting depression settling over me. Miss Devlin, she stepped forward. Call me Paula. Paula, did Dr. Alpert tell you how this works? He said you absorb emotions, interpret them, and that sometimes you get knowledge. That's right. More or less. There's a lot of background emotion here. May I hold your hand for a moment? I need to see if it's coming from you or if it's resident in the building. Without hesitation, she held out her hand, her expression full of hope. And that's what I got from her. Hope, desperation, and deep despair. She loved
Sample complete. Ready to continue?